Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-dum. Rush versus NEWSTAR, game number 2. As you can see, the lineups are the same, the only difference being the IS-3 and 2 T1s versus the T50-2, the Sturmpanzer 2 and the Bison. The pings are going out as they're looking for a defensive strategy. We know that if anyone plays artillery on this map, they generally speaking favour the east because of the open layout, and they will try and force the engagement to occur on the open layout of the east. But we will see, likely that way, we have Rush going into the city to push really heavily and fast, and we see Dulux, Hive, Inspirer, Executor and the rest of them move forward at top speed. Just Cause there, those spotting them and shooting Lebauer, but the most important thing is that, wait a minute, Lebauer is actually caught in the middle of nowhere. Maybe this was a cocky move from him, moving forward like this. But either way, he's shooting up at Rest in Peace and Co. Dulux moving around the side is also trying to get Rest in Peace, and will he get them? No. Looks like Rest in Peace is able to hold his own round the back there. Some blind shots actually getting taken here by Rush as they try and take him down, but that's a really big risky maneuver with autoloaders considering how the reload happens. But Dulux unloads 4 shots into nothing, and we now have NEWSTAR coming back. Will they take advantage of Dulux's half-empty clip? I'm not sure if they were paying close enough attention. Executor and Kilroyd are trying to make something happen as Lebauer and Inspirer move back further up the tracks. Just Cause going around the back is spotted by the T1, so they know that the T50-2 is poking around up the north now. Last seen at the south, but T50-2 is fast enough to get round to the top in almost no time at all. Pings are going out to the bottom right as they know where the artillery is after seeing a couple of shells come in. Changing the angle here for you so you might be able to see if any shells are flying out of the distance. Koretz moves out just ever so slightly too far, taking lots of damage for his mistake. And Kilroyd, Executor is hit by the artillery, and that is actually Crot or Good Night, probably Good Night there actually in the Bison. It wasn't that high damage. Doing the damage, trying to force him to be too nervous to come out of cover. Eclipse is there with him. I'm not entirely sure what his role is there, but Kilroyd is definitely dodging shots there. Up on the top, we have Lebauer moving up after taking some serious damage to fight Just Cause. Just Cause, though, isn't scared and should be able to take a few shots off at Lebauer. Lebauer is in the open, though. If the artillery do turn, he will be in trouble there. So he's not going to bother trying to engage. And moving out, but the artillery just misses him. The second one connects. That was unfortunate for Lebauer. He knew what was going to happen, and he does get out, but does receive a lot of damage. He's within 1 shot of almost everything in the battlefield. The AMX 5100s would have to roll high, but they could still kill him in 1 shot if they're lucky. So we have Rush versus NEWSTAR, game number 2, halfway through already. We see Rush taking a lot of damage and actually forcing him to retreat away from NEWSTAR, who's had such great positional advantage and has done quite a lot of damage here to Rush already. Executor losing 60, well, he's down to 66%, and we have 24% on Lebauer. Both of them quite badly hurt, mostly from artillery. And this is what you get for having a aggressive style versus a artillery style. They've got to be careful. And Dulux, Lebauer is still getting pinned for whatever reason. They know exactly where he is and they're still trying to hit him with the artillery shells, but he's not letting them connect them. If he goes down this early, that could be disastrous for Rush. Now this is a bad point for Rush to be at. They're now unsure of what to do. They just try to poke. They lost a lot of HP in doing so, and so now they've gone back into a defensive position, wanting NEWSTAR to make a mistake. They have 5 minutes left on the clock, and they've got to rally their ideas and thoughts. But with this much HP lost on the team, they can't afford to be as brass as they were just before. And that's why we're seeing them go in the defensive position here. Vosks is there, over on the far side. He is spotted for the first time this battle, but no one is in a position to hurt him from Rush's team now. Pings are going out all over the southern area, with Rush actually worried to see if there is anyone pushing through the town to try and hurt them. Just Cause pokes out with his T-50-2, trying to be able to kill the hive, but is unsuccessful in his shots. Artillery does go down and misses completely. As you see, most of this wall is actually gone. Most of the destructible terrain protecting the base is actually gone. Eclipse, Inspirer, Hexecutor and Kilroyd, I think they're actually being really cautious right now. They've lost so much HP that they don't know what to do now, and that's taken them by surprise. Pings going out in the north. They're not sure exactly what they want to do right now. They keep pinging both north and south. They want to cover both directions, but at the same time they want to keep concentrated, and artillery is just randomly shooting places. I'm guessing either to guess where people are or to clear away some broken terrain. Pings going out in the south. Not entirely sure what they're doing. They're asking Eclipse to go and have a look, or if they're just warning from enemy movements. But this is NEWSTAR's game to take control of, and they're not doing it. They want this to end in a draw, it seems, as they are waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And Just Cause is spotted once more, but is unable. No one from Rush are able to get any damage onto him. Deluxe has a try, but he unfortunately falls short for them. And Deluxe receives some artillery attention, but none of them connect. He's trying to unload and take out the T-50-2, but he's unable to do. Just Cause was able to get away unscathed, although at least we think so. They decide instead that they're going to actually clear away the destructible terrain around there where Deluxe was hiding. That's some rapid fire shooting there, trying to clear away as much destructible terrain as they can. They do not want Rush in positions where they can get an advantage. But it's lots of blind firing here between NEWSTAR and Rush. Neither team have the confidence itself to move in. Rest in peace, moving up down the tracks, and here comes the AMXs at the 2-minute mark. Is generally speaking when you see the stalemate end, because they fear that they can get the draw if they fail their attack. And NEWSTAR actually had received quite a bit of damage as Inspirer moves up to engage them. We have Kilroy, Deluxe and Hexecutor just a little bit further behind, but Inspirer on his own with all 4 of the autoloaders here from NEWSTAR in one place. Inspirer now taking some arty fire, but he's not scared. He's there ready to do the job if necessary. Eclipse has moved into the enemy cap circle. At the same time, Just Cause moves into the cap circle of Rush. Inspirer does receive a bit of damage, but it seems Hexecutor, Deluxe and Kilroyd are not willing to move in just yet. They're holding back, but Rest in Peace makes a move across. Didn't know where the entire Rush team was and receives stupid amounts of damage, going down to 44%. Dryador receives a shell as well going around, and Koretz comes around receiving damage. They've spread so much damage around, they're actually getting very vulnerable. Koretz could die to a high damage roll now from an IS-3, but the return fire commences, and Deluxe and Hexecutor receive so much damage, they've got to back off also, and Kilroy decides to come out, but there we go, Koretz goes down, and the Inspirer comes around to try and take out Rest in Peace. One more shell will be enough, and he takes him down. Kilroy comes round the side here with Hexecutor and Deluxe, and the Sturmpanzer from Good night. No, is it? No, it doesn't. Not good night. Crotch does take out Eclipse, recessing the cap, which means this is going to be a draw. Kilroy, Dulux, Hexecutor are going to move in as recklessly as they need to, because 30 seconds just won't be enough to kill Just Cause, who just retreated over there in his T50-2. Second game between Rush and NEWSTAR is going to be a draw. Now, it seems like the beginning of the game is where Rush made the mistakes, and they just didn't feel they had enough HP to warrant a push or continued push during the game. And this led to the draw because NEWSTAR were being far too passive. It does mean, though, that Rush are still ahead, and Rush just needs to win one more game to definitely not lose this set. But they want more than just losing. 16 shot from Dulux, all blind shots almost, with only 5 connecting. That's ridiculous. And that's what I was talking about, guys. During that game, there's so much blind firing, you just don't see that. 17 shots from Kilroy. Obviously not worried about the price of gold on their accounts. We have 4 shells only fired for the Inspirer. That's 1 clip, and that was right at the end there. And Lebauer did fire 8 as well, missing a few. So, interesting. Eclipse fired a lot as well. We have 38 shots, 13 of them connecting. From Just Cause. So he was actually right in the middle of it for almost the entire of it. Let's have a look at the artillery. The Sturmpanzer are doing up 1,145 damage, including the 115 used to take down the T1. Goodnight not doing as much, but he is a Bison, only connecting with 2 of the shots, and that's a lot of blind firing again. So in this game, they seem to be firing blindly a lot during that last set because they were not sure on what the other team were doing, and considering Rush moved forward first, they received the HP damage and then retreated. If we are expecting Rush to keep taking control, they've got to not be so cautious or reckless at the start, shall I say. They were caught out with the T69 moving down the middle, and he was caught out, I think it was Lebauer. Yeah, he was caught out in the middle. It was actually, no, it could have been the Spyro, one of the two. Caught out in the middle on his own, took a lot of damage, and then they had to fight from a position that just wasn't favourable for them. I don't think we'll see them do that again. Such a reckless move down through the middle. That could have ended a lot worse for Rush, to be fair. And getting to draw out that match after such a clumsy start was probably the best thing for them. They could have put out the 1. They did win the engagement, and they saw that their foes, NEWSTAR, did break and retreat when they only had a few seconds left, and that's exactly why NEWSTAR waited until the 2-minute mark. And the 2-minute mark is enough to engage. If you win it, you can win. If you lose it, there's not enough time for the counter attack, especially if you've got a T50-2 and artillery who are hiding behind the lines. So that was, I don't know, a bit of a silly play there from NEWSTAR. Right, looking at the scores. No, not the scores. The schedule for today. This is the final battle. 3 matches left tonight before Monday. Streaming from Wargaming HQ, we have Fast Loss versus Aces SJ, Rush versus Gra TM, and Red Gra versus Power. And that should be really good. And from a really awesome location, right actually on the time zone, sharing with the Russian streamers of Starladder. So that's going to be cool. But yeah, already I've seen the voting in the chat go wrong, as everyone was like, this is a 5-0 set for sure, as it now turns out the biggest result can be 4-0, and anywhere in between 1-0 and 4-0. So you guys keep voting of what you think is going to happen with the adjustments that are taking place. No one is being subbed out, and there's been no actual tank changes, so I assume that they're just going to ready up and go. Oh, there we go. I've actually turned off my light in favour of a heater because I'm starting to yawn, and that's, you know, yawning is one of these things that people think it's because you're bored, and it's not because you're bored. Yawning is a reaction from many different things, whether it be fatigue or whether it would be exhaustion. And for me, I believe it's because I'm just cold. It wasn't cold earlier, but it's just really dropped in temperature this last hour, and I'm sat in my room and feeling very cold. So I'm just putting on my heater, and if I go to my full face, you can see now that it's not so bright in my face. You can actually see, oh my god. The reason I have the forward lights as well, you can see that you can see the darkness creeping around the edges occasionally when I move forward and backwards. So that's the difference. Also, the camera finds it a lot easier to focus when there's a lot of light. So that's what that's for. So yeah. For everyone who didn't know, there is always this is always live unless there's a replay button right in the middle of the screen, around there. If there's a replay there, then you know that it's a past recording and you're seeing it from a previous round. But if there's nothing there, that means it is indeed live. If you guys find that confusing, please let us know what you'd like us to do differently, whether you want the replay button to flash or us to have a live button so you guys know that it's live. The trouble with having a live button is that when we're not live, it will still say live if you're watching it on the archives, and that would look a bit silly. Right. No lineup changes at all, so I don't understand what is going on. I'm going to try and translate this. And we have the answer of the setup is rush forward, you look 24 to the audience, Dulux for a long time, stream looks 100%. I don't know what's going on. They're talking about the stream and I don't know why. And it doesn't seem like anything's happening here. But we should be launching any second now because there must have been a mistake or a problem going on over the Russian stream and they're just double checking. And unfortunately we have to wait for them. Trying to translate as much as I can, guys. What scene are you looking at right now? Yeah, the chat. They keep saying things like, I think that it's a break, I'm not sure, I think, blah, blah, blah. And guys, think is 5 minutes. Row? Yeah, very offensive game.